All right, man. Welcome to On Da Rize Podcast. What it is, what it do. I'm your host, the bearded dad, DJ True. And I got my co-host, Destinee Livings, Miss Southern T. We got Tommy, a.k.a. the Cali, the drama man. We're going to leave it like that, you know. And we got the ball, Eazyana, you heard? And we got a special guest today, comedian RJ Evans.
What's happening? What's up?
What's happening, dog?
Jake.
I'm chilling, man. What's that?
What's good, man? What's good?
Not much.
Oh, we're gonna get straight into it, man.
Let's jump straight into it. We got our first comedian on the show. Let's get it to it. Might go crack some jokes on us or something. I don't know. I just want to laugh. You know what I'm saying? I just want to laugh.
Yeah. What's good, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm good.
First, man, thank you for coming through, man. We're gonna get straight to it. Comedy, man. How did you get into it? How it started for you, man? Like what brought you to comedy?
Hold on, we froze up. Well, yes, yeah, you can hear me? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Hey, my bad, man. I just feel played because I hooked up this little microphone, but every time I put it in there, it's messing up the audio.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to have that smooth voice, that podcast. Yeah. But that's why I keep filling around over here. You can't really see my hands, but I'm sticking this bitch in and out. But hey, it's all good. I'm gonna tell you the moment you did about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was working at this place called Major Equipment. Me and my boy Marty, we was just on a lunch break and just like, man, they gotta start making some money for themselves. Like we got all this, we got everything that's going on in our head, like all these good ass ideas, but we over here busting our ass for these people, and they paying us pennies. Cause Marty, he went on a nice run with the music in the early 2000s and everything, and his team kind of fell apart, and he put it down. But he still was always wishing how he was gonna get there. But anyway, we was at lunch one time, and I had said that I could do the comedy. I said I think I should start doing comedy because I've been wanting to do stand-up comedy. But I'm from Morgan City. Shit don't exist nowhere around me. So how could I just do stand-up comedy? Can't afford to go to New York and LA like I know from TV to where you need to be at. So he instantly, like, he downloaded something on his phone. It was Power Director at the time. He just found an app, and he set the camera on, and I just walked up to the camera, like all the way to the screen, and I was like, "Who got some work?" And we in here bust out laughing because that's the type of shit nigga acts on the streets. So we did this series called $50 Flipper, and from there, everybody in the parish, everybody that knew me, like the real me, they was like, yeah, this shit, yeah, I'm glad to see you doing that because it fits you. And what I was doing was, it was an episode with me losing my job and trying to take my last $50 and buy me some stones so I can flip it. But nobody wanted to flip the 50. If you know, we're from Louisiana. Yeah. That shit there, it happens. It was a couple episodes and it was good. Yeah. And from that point, my mom was sending me this video of Steve Harvey talking about jumping. I don't know if y'all ever seen that video, but if you did, I'll let Steve Harvey tell you. But because he was saying no matter what, you gotta jump. If you want to do it, you gotta jump. And me being a little bit up in age, had three kids at the time, still had to get it on grinding. Yeah. Shit, I just went in on the jump and shot it feel good, gave him my first 5 minutes to do stand up. And from there, we here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shit, you came a long way from what I know and seen personally. I know how it started before the world. Tell them like Real Talk Comedy Club, because we see Real Talk TV and we see Real Talk Comedy Show and all that. We know well, I know where I first heard it and first seen it at, but you know, and that was years ago, like you say, 5-6 years ago. And this is 2022. We talking about that these big comedians is now using it. You know, so how that came about?
I mean, hold on. I'm asking you a question. I don't want to skip no steps though. Easy. You know, you ain't gotta be.
I mean,
I don't want to skip
we go. You know,
no. You rescue the nigga. You Eazyana. You rescue.
No, we gonna get to that.
Go to that point.
Yeah, we gonna get to that, man. We get to that.
All right.
We were going over that.
We can. I'm gonna spec your mind. I'm gonna say we gonna fast forward right quick.
Oh well, look,
no, we ain't gonna leave the Eazyana part out. We gonna fast forward right quick because your shit is significant.
Let's get right. We're gonna get into it right now. We're gonna get into it. All right. From what I remember, this is what I remember we met. So I started doing the comedy shows around the same time, 2016, and I just my comedy show was always about the comedians that was on the rise, like who didn't really have a platform to do what they had to do. So that was to make a platform. So I just post, hey man, comedians, I need comedians. And Farron, she tagged you. Farron tagged us like RJ, check out RJ. I mean, from the day that you came down, and I think it was even on some not even getting paid, like you wasn't even worried about the money. It was just the opportunity, and it was like your first time like doing stand-up. You know what I'm saying? And when you did it from that day, shit, we ain't never looked back. And like I say, I couldn't tell that it was your first time actually doing stand-up. And I mean, from that day to the day, man, you could hold a show your own, like could host that bitch, can DJ, can headline it, one-man show, record it. You know what I'm saying? But what you got? Because you said I saved you. So that's
because that was my third show. That was my third time on stage, but that was my longest time. Well, I'm gonna say that's my longest time far as doing a set. That was my longest time that I had on stage. But like the first time was with Shot It Feel Good. The second time I put together something at the Daggerism Company in Morgan City, and everybody came out, and it was nice. So I had that little gap. So when the next time I was going to do another show, but when me and you talked, that's when we went to Lafayette. And then after the show, when you told me that you had some more dates in line and you wanted me to come through, and shit, and from now, because we was hosting the shows at Club Real, I was hosting the show for you at Club Real, and we did quite a few of them. Yeah, and that kept everything. That gave me stage time. And then it put me in that fire. You put me up there to host. I hosted my own show when I did it the second time, but I really started growing and believing in my ability to improv a lot. Like case in point, we got that legendary video of the Jigger Train shit. Started the Jigger Train at a comedy show. Like that was dope. You did. Yeah. And And just doing that, putting that work in with you, that gave me practice. That gave me the confidence, because nobody was looking to book me just because I say I do stand up now. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. Because I mean, like I said, that was actually my plan, just to give you that platform to get wherever you trying to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People wasn't really doing comedy in Lafayette, like talking about it before he did the show. It might have been around, but it wasn't as like, I guess, relevant, sort of thing, until what was the club downtown that you had did the it was something a couple times. It was something else, but until you did that one, because that was 16, then the awards was the next year, but you had the
prom. I did prom.
And it was, and the show was like lit. It was nice. It didn't look like a amateur show. Like the people came the city supported the people that wanted to do something different because, like, being the hub city, it's still known for like clubs. Like people come to go out,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like comedy things go on, but they don't go on in that downtown area. So, to
Right.
have that in the downtown area, like people was flocking to go there. And I mean, we enjoyed it. We had a good time. So, and I think like that was kind of like an evolution in itself that started like the comedy thing. Cause like I said, people came and they got like the Cajun comedy and stuff like that. But I
Right.
mean, as far as like black promoters, black comedians, black, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was big, like that was dope because like I said, a bunch of people came and like they hardly had nowhere to sit. So
Yeah.
that's what's
Definitely. What? Yeah, I think I know it's one you're talking about. You're talking about. I know exactly which one you're talking about. Well, I mean, just back to that, like you said, nobody was really. They probably had open mics but I mean, nobody was really doing comedy because when I first really started, like I said, that's why I had to go get comedians from other places. Like my very first show, I didn't have no comedian. All my comedians on my very first show was from New Orleans. Every comedian. Every comedian. It's even some comedians from Lafayette that I would hit up personally. Hey, what's up? Come through. They would tell me, "Oh, I don't do comedy. Now we look at it in 2022. They're doing their own comedy shows.
correct. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I ain't mad. I'm happy to see you progressing and doing what you gotta do. But I mean, it is. But like I say, my platform was just to give on the rise comedians a platform to come in, do a show, headline, host, sell your merch, make money, do whatever. I would get the tickets. I get them the tickets to make money, and we'll split it or whatever. But instead of me just going out there and giving you $1,000 to show up and you don't bring nobody, why would I do that?
Right.
So I just wanted to show them the way to brand themselves.
On top of that, that's the opportunity for the open mic because it's not a thing. It's not a thing in Louisiana. As far as what I've been seeing, if you have an open mic, it's more of an event. People are selling it as an event. But like when we went to Cali earlier this year, Eazy was out there in LA with me. We can talk about that. But it's open mic 7 days a week, a couple times a day, like at different, it's 30 different places, it's kind of like a fucking comedy thing, like a real comedy factory. But like, because I'm telling them dudes out there, I'm like, ooh, I see why y'all grind like it is, because y'all got a lot of competition. Y'all signing up for open mics all day. Y'all ain't really putting on no show. Y'all ain't even getting no venue and putting on the show and making no money. But at the same time, that's the blessing. It's a gift and a curse, I feel, for us, because we figuring out the business side of it before anybody else get their hand in, because we had to get these venues and go for what we knew.
Right. You can, because open mic in Louisiana, well, I mean, like in Lafayette, this area, well, in Louisiana too, it's like open mic is kind of like, to me, in my opinion, like kind of like karaoke. Like it's always music.
See,
not really,
that's what people, yes.
like
Yep.
not really, but it's always music. So I mean, that's good. That was a platform, like I said. But like you right, because like now everybody doing like comedy shows is this, that, the other. Now they book, but before you said nobody was booking the events. They weren't doing that shit. Like, be honest, like people ain't even want to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody about
my very first show had 15 people in there. 15 people. Vividly, 15 people. And half of them was family. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that didn't stop, because like I said, my platform was to give these comedians just a chance to come and bring their people.
Yeah.
And
Let me shout out E for that's because y'all really want to shout out E for bringing, something different to the culture and the city. You know what I'm saying? Because that is big. I just want to second that too. Like, you recognize the need and you went with the move. You know what I'm saying? You expanded and you opened doors for a lot of people. So just shout out you, bro. Tough.
For effort. That's to be your new slogan. Yeah. Shout out to E for effort. Let me answer your question right quick about the real talk. I want to go back to that. Now, I'm gonna make a long story short about it was around November 3.5 years ago, November. I did stand up at a church for the first time, came home 15 minutes later, my house burned down to the ground. And my kids, my wife, we was all in there. But it was cool. But I'm tripping. I'm like, man, I ain't say shit. I ain't say nothing. I ain't cursed. Like I'm in church. I come home 15 minutes later, my house burned down. But I wasn't tripping because I was tired of paying rent to this motherfucker anyway. But
well, that's a good thing.
yeah, because he wasn't doing what he was supposed to, but it was all good. But in church, somebody they prophesied and they told me, like, when I feel God finna do something, don't be afraid of it. It's gonna be for the better. So when that happened instantly like that, I mean, everything fell into place like ASAP, because to an all white club, like they don't never, in an all white band called Just Cuz. I'm gonna shout them out. I'm always shout them out because they seen the fire and they was asking how they can help people. Everybody around asking how they can help, and I'm like, shit, I need some bread and a spot, kick in. But they put me on the show to open up for them before they did this club called Mama G's. It's 99% white people in there. About 5 black people came off the strength of me. People just didn't want to go because, I'm from Market City. It's like that. Like, black and white folks ain't gonna mix in certain areas, But I'm in there, and then I'm clowning. I'm going off like probably an hour, and I'm telling them about the fire. Somebody said something about helping, and I said, hold on, I got something better than that. I said, look, I'm gonna do what y'all do, white people. I took a piece of paper and wrote a petition right quick, and I told all of them to sign it. And the petition was for Market City to put a community center or something together. Everybody in there signed it. And the next couple of days, it turned into some big shit. Like people going live. It was like a campaign down there. I had every signature that you can get, because somebody that actually do the petitions set up there and typed it up right and printed out all the papers and a list. And I went around and people was helping me. We all going around. We got this big pile of signatures. So it was, it wasn't no doubt. And that's when my big homie, Stanley, he seen what was going on, because he was one of the people at Mama G's. And he seen what was going on. And then he went to telling me about Hammond, where he lived. So in that time frame when we fighting, trying to get a community center rolling, the mayor of Market City called me in. We had a meeting, and the whole time he was trying to deter me from it, because it's a big elementary school that shut down called Shannon. And that's the perfect place where they could have put some money into that and to do it. But he was telling me about the light bill around $6,000-7,000 a month. He deterred me from the whole. He trying to basically tell me, y'all can't handle that. We ain't gonna handle that because we ain't geared towards. That's what I took from it. So it died down, because I'm like, well, if the city don't want to do it, I gotta. When God said it can be done, it's gonna be done. We put enough money together, we'll get it, and it'll be done. Because the community center wasn't just geared towards kids and teenagers. This is for people that's coming home from prison, people that just ain't never did shit after they got out of school, like anything, because Market City don't have nothing like that open to the public, like you got to get it how you live out there. But it was a Wednesday, July 6th, I remember, because we was in a hotel where somebody had hooked us up with a good price. So we in a hotel this whole time from November to January 6th. And I came to Hammond and did a show in the Talbot with Stanley, and I said I felt like this is where we supposed to be at. Made that decision, put all my family in the car, came to Hammond. We was at Stanley. See, we prepared for like 6 months or something like that to be at Stanley house, around him, his wife, his people, and just, till we come up, man. It was 1 week. We found the house for rent, and the dude was fixing inside the house, putting the cabinets. And we told her we could do the work. and that gave us too much free rent. So a week later, we in there. But the spooky part, not the spooky, you know how you chasing something or whatever, you feel like God blessing you, but you see it's real. This is the crazy part. We on the house was on a street called Clark Street, and in the driveway in the concrete, my name was in the concrete, and nobody spelled my name right. It was Reubben in the concrete of the driveway. I took a picture of that and all that. And my old lady, her last name is Clark, and we was on Clark Street. And from there, everything fell into place. So for the past, and 3.5 years later, when I first got there, me and Stanley, we had only put something on paper and started Real Talk Comedy Club LLC. And the club part is like the brotherhood, the camaraderie. Or if you're fucking with us, that's the club part. It wasn't a building. It ain't actually building yet. So we just been pumping Real Talk Comedy because we just want you to know, if you come into a comedy show that we got going on, anybody gonna say anything out of their mouth. They comedians. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's safe.
Yeah, ain't nobody safe. Nothing safe, you know? Nothing safe. And everything just started falling into place, bro. Cause I did a show for a year straight, every Tuesday and Thursday at the nightcap in Hammond. And it was black owned. It brought awareness to his club because on the weekends and stuff, it was jam-packed. People was renting it out and everything. And he ended up actually buying, he went from leasing that place to buying another building, renamed the Shooters, and told us, all right, these white folks tired of seeing niggas. Thank y'all for what y'all did. Go about your business. And
wow, damn.
But you know, it wasn't no ill will on my part because you know that time because it was one of the biggest commandments, not to covet. That didn't belong to me. The time was up. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of practice out you. I got a lot of networking out you, you know, and from there, probably about a month and a half later, I was approached by another spot in Ponchatoula called J. Rucker's House of Soul. And during me doing the entertainment for him, I found out that she actually was related to EJ, the dude who owned the Shooters. They all family, but I didn't even know that. You feel me? But she did tell me somebody told her about it. Yeah. So I put in a lot of work over there to get her stuff reestablished because she opened up right before COVID hit, so people really ain't know about it, and that's why I learned how to DJ because I wasn't paying nobody to come DJ these shows, and you know I feel like God blessed me with a great mind. I know how to walk and chew bubble gum. So I'm DJing and hosting the shows. And I gotta really thank every comedian that's in New Orleans and surrounded areas because all of them came fuck with me. Because without them, it wasn't shows, you know. I remember 1 or 2 times me doing the whole thing by myself and it worked perfect. But that would have drowned out people if it was just constantly me, you know. But people was coming in and I'm not even getting paid for this. I'm just working and making whatever I make at the door, you know, and got like they did give me a van. They did give me a van. They gave me a van, a nice van, you know, nice white van. So yeah, so I can't say they fucked over me. And I told the Easy one time, I'm glad I did this shit. I said, I got this big ass venue. We about to do that comedy festival that we was talking about. And I whipped up a flyer and everything. And we did the Eazyana Comedy Festival. That shit really happened.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was dope.
And it was crazy because, man, when that nigga hit me up and told me about it, you know, I'm wearing Cali, so I'm just like, bro, like, honestly, I don't know how you gonna do that shit. I don't know, like, nigga, I ain't got no money for that. All I can do is just show up. I was like, look. And he was like, man, you just get here. I got the rest.
Yeah.
So I told that nigga, I'm like, he gave me the dates. I booked my flight. We promoting the flyers, and sure enough, man, we got down there, and that nigga made it happen. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and even through the mishaps with the venue, like we still made it happen, dog. And that just made me believe in more of like, all right, shit, I could do another comedy fest for up and coming comedians, like because but yeah, man, I
was on my way out with them because again, like I say, same thing happened. You know, same exact thing happened with them. You know, they got tired of I bought them a lot of different shit, and I got a lot of people seeing the venue. I'm talking about from jazz. It's House of Soul. You got jazz, blues musicians, jazz musicians. You know, you got other comedians that's from here. They got large showing a large following, and you got other show promoters and stuff. So now, you know, they doing what they do. They got the AJ Show live over there, crazy karaoke, everything. But I'm not involved with them in no way, shape, or form because my services was no longer needed. I should say that.
But they go back to real talk, because
hold on, before you say that, I just want to say God is real because listen, all that stuff you went through, you kept your head up, and it was just showing you like blessing after blessing, like dog, like because I know I don't know just to say like that's some dramatic stuff like losing your home and you know what I'm saying, clothes and everything, and to keep a head, you know, your head strong and your head up and God just showing you
still trying to get a community center.
No, you know, like that's dope. Like ain't nobody like
it take a special
man, where my family gonna live it. Like he trying to build like something for the community. Like that's awesome, dog. Like real talk.
Yeah, it take a special kind of person to do that, especially you know, all them building other people's stuff and they like you know, we might not all of them, but I mean that's typical in business. But to have it happen twice and to keep going, because I know me, I ain't got that much patience. I'd be like, go ahead, you know, go ahead, y'all on your own, you know. But I mean, like I said, it take a special person. You definitely gotta have patience, and you definitely need to be faithful. That's for sure. Maybe I need to go to church because I'm learning right too. So,
but no, see that it don't come from church. It don't come from church. That come from me searching, you know, for my purpose and me searching for God for real, you know, and just understanding that, all right, if you figure out the way God speak to you, if you trust your gut feeling 100% of the times, everything gonna be all right. And you'll start seeing the shit and you'll really start hearing. You listen to him.
You listen to him, my brother.
You listening to him.
Like I got that from you, my brother. Everything you said, like, and not just like you listen to him, you follow his direction.
Yeah,
you don't have to look at hand. You know what I'm saying? You're paying attention to the clues, everything he gave you the signs. Like, yeah, I went there
because it was man. Hey, look, because I'm gonna just say every place from the street that the house was on to me leaving out the first house that I was in when I got down here to me leaving J. Ruckus, every place that I left, a little bit after that, the shit was so upside down and changed. God got me out there at perfect time. So I can't be mad at you. Now, now I know anybody saying the same, man, why you don't get no paperwork involved? I would only want to get paid because I like to be in a position where I can leave when I want to. You know, I can set my own conditions. And on top of that, these venues, you know, you giving me that residency over there. I'm putting together these shows, but the whole time I'm learning how to do this for myself. You feel me? You know, I'm learning how to do this for myself. But no, I was looking for this. I don't know if y'all can see this. I just wanted to see this, show y'all this Let me see. Hold on. Let me do this right quick.
Pull it back a little. Oh yeah,
I can't see it how we supposed to. I just wanted to show you that Eazyana when I whipped up that flat that y'all can't see it like talk about. I don't know how.
I'm gonna put it in the stuff. I'm gonna edit it in though. So they,
you can't hardly see it from the phone, but I remember that fly. That's whenever E was flying.
Yeah,
and I showed that flyer. He was flying. He was walking. If you look at the ground, look at it again. If you look at the ground opening up. Yeah. And he on his tiptoe like about to fall in the ground when he took one of the pictures at in Canada.
At the Illusion Museum.
Well, I say that to say this. And me doing this shit, and on top of that, I had a cracked up Android, still got an Android, but I ain't tripping because they lawyer. That's how I learned how to make flyers. Because I'm making every flyer, every time I'm on a flyer, I made the flyer and just getting better and better with it and learning how to manipulate these apps on this phone, like moving it as I go. And on top of that, still taking care of my kids and my household every day, all day. So, we was homeless out here like 2 times, but we never was homeless like living in the streets because the money, everything was falling into place for me to pay for these hotels, And now, today, well, I'm gonna say it like this: we was at another house. Hurricane Ida hit, and the landlord he wanted his house back so he can get some of that money. This nigga live in Houston and got houses all over other places. So he like, y'all gotta find somewhere else. But he was giving us time. I'm like, the whole city of Hammond and Tangipahoa Parish tore up. How much time you talking? Like, ain't nowhere else to move. I said, this bitch. He told me, he said, you might want to move to Slidell or something, because I know they got comedy out there. I'm like, bitch, don't tell us where to uproot at. My church, bitch, we live in Hammond. I'm trying to find something in Hammond, but it was cool because I hooked up with these people that I did a fundraiser for a while back, and they they took care of the hotel for a while and paid 6 months rent. At this new house that we at, and the new house that we at is on side of a park. I'm talking about like, if I take 7 steps, I'm on the basketball court, and the park just reopened since Hurricane Katrina, and they renovating the community center. That shit crazy.
Wow.
So I live right next door to what I asked God for.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah, so hell yeah, this shit, this journey is real. This I can't stop this, man. Come on, man. This ain't no cap. Like they say, cap. This ain't. I got the details. I got the proof for it. Take my word for it. This is real. This is divine. This is a story of divine intervention. Nothing else. And it ain't got nothing to do with me. Because trust me. If this had something to do with me, I'd probably have diamonds crossing the middle of my face, telling people I'm the funniest nigga on the planet. Fuck you. Doing all that other shit. Draped up, dripped out, trying to put money all up my own. Yeah, I'll be one of them. But this ain't got nothing to do with me, man. This guy got something going on, bro. Because the main goal for this is just to try to bring everybody together, bro. I'm talking about, like it. If every job I done had, I work with white people and black people. I ain't never been in no job where it's just all black people, But when you go out for the entertainment or you go out on the town, it's all black people or it's all white people. I don't know where the fuck the Asians be at. A Mexican here or there. But comedy is the only sport I know that'll bring everybody together under one roof. And we laughing the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
If you get shot and killed at a comedy show, that was your time.
Hey, you came to laugh. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, that ain't had was your time to go.
Damn.
No pun intended. Like, damn. No pun intended at all. Like, yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's some other shit. If that happened over there, I agree.
But,
oh man.
Yeah, that's just that's a piece of it. That story is long because it's got a whole bunch of other details that'll blow your mind. But Yeah.
But that's good because I mean, somebody somewhere needed to hear that to stay motivated because I mean, people don't just. It takes a strong person to lose shit and be able to still have faith to rebuild, you know. But I think that a lot of that too sometimes comes from parenthood because what you gonna tell these kids? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you gotta, you know, you gotta keep pushing. So that's definitely commendable.
That's a big blessing too because they don't know. They don't even know what's going on. They know about the fire, but they didn't even know what was going on. They just know we was going from this place and that place. And they had fun. They always have fun. And you know, they having fun. And they instead of me telling them, like you say, they learning this shit. They see, you know, just keep going, just keep doing what you're doing, you know? And that shit cool, bro. Like it's just cool because I'm not like I ain't financially, I ain't even 25% of where I want to be at. But the money I do get, I know it with doing the comedy, I get in touch with a lot of different people who are hooked with the hookup. I'm gonna say it like that. So a lot of people give me things to give to the kids or give me a good deal for the kids. You know, like for example, right now I told them go chill out right quick. You got one of them. I mean, a couple of two of them there in the back playing Nintendo Switch and all that stuff. One got a whole art canvas thing. She doing her masterpiece. The other one riding a little fucking four-wheeler thing around the house. And that shit right there is cool as fuck to me, you know?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because you know the children, you know, they do. We could say all we want. Do what I say, not as I do, but they do as you do, and not as you say. You know, so I mean that's good as fuck because it's my children is off the chain. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I like how they have. I just like how they have respect outside the house, how they handle themselves. That's what a lot of people tell me about my kids. They say they're like man, and they tolerate them because like I tell them, y'all the generation where older people hate kids right now because y'all too grown. Everybody want to shoot them up, bang bang. I said, so with y'all being respectful like that, it go a long ways. Like
absolutely.
They ended up in a summer program for free because the ladies liked it. They liked it, the girls, and they was doing, and they put them in that program for free, and they ended up playing softball and all that for a big park for free because I helped one of the dudes out didn't even know he ran the park, the Chapapila Park, which is the same park that bought the park on side where we living at, but this happened a couple years ago. So the first day when they found out, when I told them I seen him and talked to him, and he found out I moved here, they made me fill out a hiring package. So when the community center opened up, I got a place, a part of it. I'm a part of it. So yeah, so that's real cool. That's cool to me, man. And then but that's the part. That's what I tell them about things falling into place. You know. That's what I
definitely fell into place from you, because especially like being from Morgan City, right? I don't know too much from Morgan City. I mean, people from out there hearing it, but I had like my auntie and I got like a cousin that's there. But everybody always talk about how like Morgan City, you know, and stuff is like segregated, you know, and stuff like that. And then like, I mean, we in Lafayette keep it real, they exist here too. It's just not as, you know, it's not as much open as it is, you know, in those places, because like when I hear about like stuff like that, it happened like down 90, right? So I mean, is that kind of like a release for you? So like moving your children out of that?
No, not at all. Well, not with that part, because let me see if I speak on that race. If I speak on racism, see in Hammond, like where we at, this area, this is more. This feels more racist than where I'm from, because these niggas in Morgan City, it's separate. It's not that separate, because it's a lot of white folks who are less fortunate in Morgan City, and they gonna mix with us.
Gotcha.
Because they shopping. But in Hammond, you see what I'm saying? Like they go, yeah, but you gotta come across the train to get what they want, you know. So
I got you.
yeah, like, but so they gonna mix with us. But out here, you know, I'm seeing like real wealth. You know, these people got big old ass yards with lakes in it. You know, but in Hammond they have a lot. This what I've been telling people in Hammond, and I found this out because they have African American Heritage Museum in Hammond, but it's owned by Tangipahoa Parish. So it's a museum. You got to pay to go walk around it, though. They ain't letting you go in there for free, which they should let people go in there for free. So I'm living on Natchez Street, and I'm noticing all the names on Natchez Street. And I'm noticing it's a black neighborhood. They call it Mooning. Got a big ass sign, too, by the court called it Mooning. It's a neighborhood. It's a hood, like they claim. But I'm asking all these questions, and then you know I'm using other sources, other resources to try to figure out what's going on with this neighborhood, because it's everything of all the land is owned by blacks. It ain't no white folks that own nothing in Mooning, but they own the buildings. I mean, they own the businesses that's on the highway surrounding Mooning. But all the black people own the land, and they say that it's passed down to them. It's been passed down to them, and it's a lot of land. Come to find out, that area was the first. It was like one of the first established black neighborhoods after the Emancipation Proclamation, and that's actually reparations land, because a few spots in America they got reparations. Then I say, oh shit, Natchez Street, Mississippi Street, Live Oak. I said that's Indian names, but I said, but case in point, you don't think you know Indian because you got black skin, but that go to Live right there, you know, bitch.
Correct.
Y'all native to this land. That's why they never took it from you yet. They got trailer graveyards back there, and you know the city don't play. You know what I'm saying? They'll take your land from you. You know, motherfuckers have trailers for years, let them bitches decay on their own, leave them there, and you see the insulation hanging out of them and all of them. The bitches got like 17 of that on one street. And I told them, I said, man, you know why they're not taking it? Because they can't take it. This shit is in the Constitution somewhere for y'all. And a white man told me in church one time that he see that God got me out here for a certain group of people to give some knowledge to. And when I was doing this shit at night camps, it's several different people who started following their dream at the night camp, and they live in their dream today about doing the comedy shows and the open mics and shit with me and Stanley with Real Talk Comedy. So that's a good thing. And a lot of people in the area understood started to understand it. See, it's spread, the message spread, because you had some people saying that ain't true because they can't find it and they can't find it nowhere. Then you have the other hand where people say, yeah, because my grandma always told me that. And it turned into a conversation that people was having, you know, like the people that was from there, you know, and what they did was got the city to do a better job with the park they have. So now they got a nice ass park with a big park lot, lights and shit, big old ass. I mean, they got the goals and everything popping and shit. They not losing the clubs that they have back there no more. I mean, it's just, I just feel the if you go back there, you know, you feel the prosperity everywhere, you know. Motherfuckers just ain't, you know, they respect it. I think they're respecting it more because now they know what it is.
Oh, so that was an area that got reparations. That's different. I never ever heard about that. I'm gonna go look that shit up. But you know what they say? You want to hide things from black people? Put it in a book.
They ain't even put this shit in no book. You gotta dig deep. They burned the book. That's in. You gotta dig deep with that. Like you gotta go find and you gotta find that. And you just talk to a lot of older people Some shit they ain't even gonna put in the book, but you right. Put that shit in the book.
Niggas is not gonna read.
Unless you put it on Facebook.
Yeah, I was about to say Facebook, definitely they gonna read it.
Then they're not even reading the whole paragraph, they're skimming through it. You can tell by the comments, because the comment ain't got nothing to do with it, what it's saying. They just see the picture.
Man, they comment the same thing. Nigga, I put that in the paragraph. You didn't read the whole thing.
Yeah, you know, they say I can't say nothing about that because I'm guilty for it too. And it'd be like, after you comment something, it's like, you know, I always, every time, whenever I fuck that up, I just go back and be like, never mind. I know reading is fundamental. I get it. I went back. I read it. You know, before you come tell me, my bad. I got it because the answer be in the question. I mean, the answer already be in there. And I can ask the question. I'm like, oh God, okay, so you know, yeah, but I get it. So,
man, but that's that part. That's my walk with God. You know, the interesting things that I like. You know, that's the thing I like to do outside the camera and everything. You know, like, but the hardest thing for me right now with the comedy is building a fan base. That's
it was family.
Building a fan base.
Building a fan base. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like now? Okay, so now since like COVID, you feel like, I mean, we still kind of like pandemic, right? Or whatever. They decide to do. We don't know what the. At this point, I don't know what the fuck is going on. But so while we in pandemic, you know, do you feel like things have become easier as far as like comedy? Because like now, I feel like people was on social media before, right? But like people is on social media like now because it's like you have this era of like influencers, like they teaching, people watching social media more, you know, than usual because like, I mean, kind of like the jobs they ain't hire, everybody ain't got a damn PPP, nobody hiring nobody trying to pay that shit back. So everybody is just like, you know, on social media. So I guess my question is like, how, like what you're doing currently, how are you trying to, you know, like gain a fan base or whatever? Because I feel like all it takes is I'm on the outside looking in, right? But it looks like, you know, you find something good to kind of go viral, you know, and stuff. Because I feel like the easiest way to get things seen is for like your people to share it, right? But they're gonna laugh at it because I mean, again, we're in this generation, niggas don't want you to do better than them or whatever. So you don't get that, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever, most of us got 5,000 people on a page. If I could get all 5,000 of you motherfuckers to share, you know what I'm saying? Because I like on my page, I got 2 that happened on accident, but I think I got like 8,000 people on there, right? Like some of my stuff it might get like 40 likes or something, but on the stories, it's popping. How's 1,000 motherfuckers in my stories? You know what I'm saying? Like 1,000, a lot of people in a 24-hour span.
I think it's what they call the algorithm.
Yes, sir.
Because
Facebook algorithm. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to crack that code, but at the same time, be myself. You know, because I don't want to go viral. I don't want to go viral doing a skit that ain't got nothing to do with my stand-up comedy and then have to keep on being that person. You know?
Right, to keep that.
Yeah, that's how you turn into something that you ain't. You know?
Correct.
And my goal is
I think that like the algorithm from like what I know from like marketing or whatever. I mean, you can still, but there's a million other people trying to beat the same thing. But like what I know from like marketing, and this is just like some, you know, advice. What I learned from marketing or whatever would work or whatever on my end is, and I learned a lot of this shit on Clubhouse when COVID was, you know, whatever. That's when, I don't know if you're using Clubhouse because I know you still got an Android, you know, they just let y'all in. But when I was on Clubhouse and what's his name? The dude, Mark Cuban, whatever, the guy that be on Shark Tank and, you know, stuff like that. So like they was teaching, you know, the stuff, and they was talking about like the algorithm and stuff like that for social media. I don't know if it applied to all of them, but I know like for Instagram, the top thing they was saying is like you need to post like 3 times a day. Yep. And you need to interact with 50 different people a day. Like that's a lot of people because I be trying. it's a job. Yeah. So like I be trying, like on Instagram, I could kind of get it. But on Facebook, like how you supposed to, that's a lot of, and you got a million people trying to beat the algorithm. But I did notice like it's some apps, right, where you can schedule, your stuff and stuff like that. So I do notice like whenever I schedule, stuff and I go in, even if it's an emoji, like I don't know none of these people. But when I get back in there from like the end of the day, like the what they call it, I guess the interaction, but they call it something else. It'd be like a lot. The engagement, that's what they call it. It'd be like a lot. So it'd be like if I go back and check like 2-3 days later, it'd be like 100 comments. I don't know none of them people, but out of it, like if 13 people follow, you know what I'm saying, then you kind of like gain some. But it definitely is a job. But I mean, I don't know about y'all. I can't afford to hire nobody to do no damn marketing. So my anxiety would be trying to count them damn,
Yep.
It'd be bad, but I mean, it is efficient if you could do it. So
yeah. Hey, that's some good game. That's some good game that you gave me. I didn't know they had an app. You gotta tell me. You gotta put me on that app. You say you was using?
Yeah, I got you. I got you on that or whatever. I use me and Truth was talking about that, about the Canva app that you schedule.
Yeah, the Canva. Yeah.
So
you could do flyers and posters on that too.
That's why I use Canva. I use Canva.
Okay, so they got a content planner, right, on Canva.
Well,
so
they
got a content planner. You just use, your insights, see when most people interact or whatever, and just set your stuff and it just posts for you. And I mean, that it don't like for you, but it'll definitely post it for you. And like, that's how I try to keep my content up. So when it starts slipping, I'm doing it on my own. But when it's consistent, it's definitely on Canva.
Hey, that's cool, man. And a lot of I've been seeing a lot of people, well, not a lot. I know this one promoter, his name Radiza Heron Drive, and he do comedy shows, and he hosts his own comedy shows. He do one in Slidell, and he do one in Picayune. I worked with him a few times because he seen me do comedy for the first time in New Orleans, and I built a relationship with him. And he told me about the email blast. You say when you get that email list together, it seemed like everybody, they get them emails, you keep doing the email blast, and that's what fill it up. Every time, that's all I see. Because I never really had nobody tell me I seen the flyer on Facebook. I never had nobody say I seen your flyer on Instagram. That's why I'm here. A couple people, but then a couple people would be like word of mouth, or they heard somebody talking about it or something. And that's why a lot of the shows would be a couple people in there. But it's just me. I'm trying to save everybody email that come out, but it's hard because I had an email list somewhere and won't have no emails on it. So I just tell everybody to pick their phone up, follow me on Facebook or Instagram, and still try to tag it like that. But
yeah, and you know what else too? Those like the QR codes. Some of them you get that for free. Link that to all your stuff. And I use an app for my shop called it's called MailChimp. And you just same thing. You put the people emails in there and you schedule them or whatever and you send them out. But I noticed like, okay, so like you try to be professional, right? So whenever we send like emails and be like, oh, hey, 40% off of this and that is going on, whatever. Like my clients, they be like, look, when you send that professional shit, we be like, they kind of get caught up with all the other professional shit. But like I started noticing like Fashion Nova and stuff, like places where I buy, they don't send that. They be like, oh, hey, girlfriend, hey, boo, and stuff like that. So I started using that because people be like, when you send me stuff that's relatable, I be like, what the hell? But I go and open it. And on that app, you can track who opened your stuff. So I learned a lot of stuff from Mark. After this, I'm gonna send you some stuff because like I'm big on like not being like a gatekeeper on like information and stuff like that. But like they call it a funnel, right? In like marketing. So when you fill that list up, all whatever, and you just build like a funnel. So everything you're pouring there just go to everybody. But like on this app, you can see who opening your stuff, who's just taking up space on your thing or whatever. And I give them 90 days to open like, stuff or whatever consistently. If I see that thing is under a certain percent, then I get them the hell out of there because it's just taking up space, and they gonna come back. But what I also learned is like people have to see things. Like this one dude told me he made $7 million in a day. And he said that he like a life coach, right? He teach them. So he said he had to make 14 contact points with X amount of people to buy his package, and he was selling it for like 140 racks. And he told me the number of people that bought it, but he had sent out like a ridiculous number of it. And he was like, just those people bought it, and he made $7 million in one day. And people just like asking, and I was just like, I didn't care about nothing else. I just wanted to know how. You know, like what happened? So he actually sent me, it's like 32 pages of like how to create a funnel. And it's dope. Like I'm gonna send it to y'all though.
All right.
We're gonna get back because we're talking about all of the social media stuff. Or you think it's a difference between, which is I could put it is like social media comedians and like what you do stand-up comedians. Like, is you feel like that's a
it's a big difference. That's totally different album.
Yeah, like there's two different lanes.
Yeah,
because you're starting to see more people. I want to say like maybe like for example, like Haha Dave is like he was on social media and now you could see him starting to do more stand-up. Like that, like even like Desert Banks, like they starting to do more stand-up.
Cause that stand-up, I'm gonna tell you, when I first on my first show, he said, you how you muted the mic, but you still read the voice. Stop hollering. Yeah, I know y'all have seen me do this a couple times. So it's really I'm gonna just say Mario P gave me that advice. He said social media, man, that's just for putting yourself out there, promotion. He said, but you're gonna get your name on that stage. And when you talking about comedy, if you can't do stand-up comedy, the game ain't gonna respect you. So it ain't too many doors that can open for you. Because when you're doing social media skits, you're talking television now, you're talking movies. Because that's what that's for, in my opinion, and what I see. But as far as being able to get that microphone and do your thing under pressure live, that's how they gonna know. All right, you're entertaining, because you gotta think about I gotta entertain y'all with words and gestures on the stage. It's like watching a movie. Which that's where it separates from, because you have them saying I'm a killer, because you have people doing things on social media and you'll think that crowd know you from social media, so you'll try to use the things that you see on social media or do on social media, but you got people looking like just like he did, just like he was looking like, what are he talking about? What's she talking about? Like, what's going on? And I think they get a little discouraged because in my opinion, they both difficult. They both is to be respected. Because them dudes who do them skits and shit, that shit be funny, and they bang them bitches out every day and have the time to do them and bang them out or whatever and upload them every day. Whereas on the other hand, you have cats that do stand-up comedy every day, and banging that out and different shit. Because you can't, just like you gotta switch up them skits, you gotta switch up your them. I like that. It's about to rhyme. Just like you switch up them skits, you gotta switch up your bits. So so that's the thing that I try the most. I always freestyle a lot, and I don't try to give people the same things. But if I ain't never seen you before and I want to tell you this joke, or I'm trying to really see how to work this joke, I use it again. But what I see all the time is they got some comedians, I done seen them 30 times and it's been the same show every time.
Damn.
Yeah.
Every time.
I went to Mike Epps shows and I was like, I heard this shit last time.
Like you could damn near get up there and tell a joke yourself.
Since you seen that in person, like, are the people still laughing like at it? Because I'm pretty sure, just like Destinee said, like she went to 2 Mike Epps show and he using the same shit, but it's like, you got different people in the crowd that probably never seen him. So
correct. So I heard, okay, so I lied. I said 2, I went to 3. I went to 2 in Lafayette or whatever. And like I said, one of the jokes he told in Beaumont, like 2 of them I heard in Lafayette, but the one in Lafayette, he keep coming and he like, oh, Lafayette, the only place you blow the horn, everybody wave on the porch. I'm like, all right, Mike, it's the same crowd. We heard this already. We know it's accurate. That's how I go. But we heard that already. So, but like I be watching. I like comedy, but like I said, in Lafayette, they don't really be having like comedy shows like that you could go to, because I feel like everybody want the same crowd, right? That entertainment crowd or the club crowd. But what about the people who don't want to see that? Because like, I mean, I like music and stuff, but I'm to a stage where I'm not really at the club no more. So like people at that stage, like the comedy clubs, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the spot, but it's not here. It's not like available, but people travel for like good shit, because we laughing at people on social media like it's funny, but like I don't want to, and there's no shade or whatever, because I know it's hard. I can't do it. I went to some people shit and I'm like, I'd rather laugh on Facebook for free. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, that's not funny, in person. But like I think like the comedy show, the comedy things is like dope. Like we'll catch a flight and go to a good comedy show depending on who, you know what I'm saying? Who comes. Yeah. So
what's your thoughts? I want to see what's your thoughts on T.I. doing the stand-up and try to switch it up.
I love it because he opened up a lane. Because what T.I. gonna figure out is he could talk about that street shit on that stage and see how funny it is. So now you opening up a whole different lane for niggas, because the street niggas is hilarious. You feel like, I mean, anything that happened in them situations, from the penitentiary to the crack house to just growing up, because that's my story too. That's my background. That's the era. That's what I come up on, like, and I talk a lot about a lot of poverty and street things too on stage. It's just, it's just funny because it's reality, and that's where you can use the words real talk comedy. Like we could talk real. I mean, I know he doing it. I know he making his money and everything, but I do respect it, because like he said, he respect the game. You can't expect for T.I. to not have a big show. It's T.I. Nigga, he ain't come back as a comedian. He just do comedy too now, And it's stand-up comedy. And I heard him talk about how he hit the comedy clubs to learn how to do it. So he respected. I know he said something about the shit easy, but I know he wasn't saying it like it really was easy. He was saying like he making you understand that he hit a state, You know what I'm saying? And when people just ready to hear about Tiny and his kids in a different way. I know that. I know it. He used the big ass.
Something else. Yeah. If he get a show and he's talking about this, if he talking to get a show and he's talking about King, I'm going to see, because he's on the ass whoop.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
So
yeah, because it's opening up a lane for comedians that can make music too. Because if you could do stand-up comedy, man, you know how to put the words together well.
Right. So and then so like speaking on that, on like the T.I. thing, remember, so like we was talking about the real talk comedy. Like he started doing it. Remember he had that incident where he got into it with the girl? Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. So like I feel like he kind of like, he kind of was out of line for that, because you're a comedian, you can talk about anything or whatever. Yeah. But when it's your turn, you gotta be able to take that,
And that's that you make a good point when you say that. The only reason I ain't publicly speak on that or comment nowhere, because I don't think they was going to understand what I was going to write, because all I wanted to say was T.I. is not the only comedian that did that to other comedians. Like, all right, you're a comedy now. You doing comedy. That shit happens to everybody, because and it's on how she handled it, and she handled it well. She handled it how she's supposed to. That shit gonna happen. You ain't just gonna get heckled by the crowd. 9 times out of 10, you getting heckled by somebody who either want to be a comedian or think they just the funniest person on earth because they sense of humor. So that's the people that's gonna heckle you because you know they want to be on that stage so bad.
Yeah, because he's stressed. She stressed him out.
Yeah,
man, you moving fast, man. You basically laying out the show for us, man. Like, so I mean, so we talking our own hecklers, man, because we're gonna get back to your originality, you, but since we on hecklers, like how you deal with hecklers, or how should one deal with hecklers? What you think of hecklers? Like how you, because I see, you know, I've seen firsthand, you handle the show well with hecklers and everything, and just original. So you know, what you think about it? Like,
man, it's fun. It's just fun when it happens, because I mean, I never seen it happen much. I just remember this one girl tried to heckle. I don't think she liked the comedian that came on before me, and I was hosting anyway, but she tried to heckle, and you know, I got rude for 30 minutes, man, and the shit was so funny. I know, because if you've seen her and you see how, just look at her side. I told her she was built like an SD card, but if you look at an SD card and you see how that little button, you know, like she just had a big body with a little bit of titties like that, but everybody knew what I was saying because her dress and everything matched. But I was just saying what I saw, like my point of view. And so funny. He started laughing too, like it was crazy, bro. And from there, that was a respect thing in the nightcap. Like, all right, don't fuck